In Greek mythology, Seltos means son of Hercules, but in KIA language it means this.
Well, here we are on the way to NOOSA. How are you, Alan?
Very well, thank you, David.
Now, Alan, the advertising and the marketing speak for this use two strong words: sophisticated and assertive. Let's forget assertive for the moment.
Yeah.
Let's just go to sophisticated. So, Alan, would you consider it sophisticated?
I do. I think it is very sophisticated, especially on the outside.
I like the front as being bold with a lot of very strong elements of the light.
Well, there's two different lots of lights. So there's four models altogether: the S, Sport, Sport Plus, and GT line. And the GT line, which is the one we're in at the moment, this particular one is all-wheel drive, and all of the external lighting is LED. So the daytime running lights, the headlights, tail lights, the interior lighting, that's LED as well.
There's a range of colours, which is strong. I think colours are coming back a bit now. We're not just getting the greys and the white and so on. There are some bolder colours.
Well, I think black's a really ridiculous colour for Australia. Anything black, I think, honestly, is just stupid. But there's 9 colours all up, and 2 of those are exclusive to the GT line. And also exclusive to the GT line is a black or white roof.
It means, though, that if you get the two tones, you can't have the sunroof.
Correct.
So I would prefer to have the two-tone than the sunroof.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of sunroofs.
No, I would save myself a couple of grand. So the other thing is that there are 2 engines and 2 transmissions and 2 drivetrains. So there's front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. There's a CVT or a DCT, so we'll explain to the viewers what the difference between those is.
A CVT is a continually variable transmission. It's like not having stepped gears.
Yep.
It means that it can vary the ratio infinitesimally in order to get you the best ratio.
You have been trying to work that into the conversation. I told you not to, and I told you you'd be over my knee if you said infinitesimal. I've been trying to work verisimilitude in as well, but so far I just haven't had the time to give the conversation some verisimilitude.
The DCT is a dual clutch transmission, which mainly is a stepped normal gearbox, except that it works like a glorious automatic with...
well, it's actually 2 manual gearboxes side by side, and one's preset. Now, David, we drove the 2-wheel drive version with the 2-litre engine and CVT this morning. This car, which is the 1.6 turbo, has 130 kilowatts. Remind me how many newton meters it's got?
260.
260 newton meters. And that's made such a huge difference. I can't even begin to tell you that the 2 cars are chalk and cheese.
Really?
This one feels much more planted on the road than the other car did. This car also has some other extras. Not only is it all-wheel drive with, in my view, the better engine, but it's also got the better transmission.
And it has the bigger wheels, so
Bigger
it's
wheels.
probably got lower profile tyres.
And it's got lots of extras inside as well. So the heads-up display is one of the pop-up jobs, so it's not on the windscreen. It's actually on this little piece of perspex or glass or whatever's in front of me.
So it is very sophisticated in a way. Let's look at the interior, a very large screen.
So there's
an infotainment screen.
There's a 10.25 inch on all but the bottom model, and it can be split so you can have multiple bits of information on it. I think it looks awesome. You've still got the direct access buttons down below that, but I think it gives the pop-up tablets give you a great way of getting the information off the centre stack and use that valuable real estate for other things like vents and air conditioning controls.
You like the interior and the panelling and the different sections of the interior?
Well, I particularly like the faceted speaker covers. Now, this car also has the 8-speaker Bose sound system.
We get about, it's a combined figure of about 6.8 litres per 100 in the fuel consumption. Actually, the turbo is much higher That's a combined figure of about 7.6.
Oh, well, my theory about that is that the four-wheel drive car or all-wheel drive car weighs a little bit more.
Yeah.
But also, I think you're tempted to sink the boot in because it's a much more pleasurable drive. It's an absolute peach. As Molly Meldrum used to say, I reckon it's going to go up with a bullet. It's my prediction.
115 kilograms extra in weight.
Yeah.
So
that's one of us. And a bit.
How does it drive? How do you find the steering? I thought the steering felt rather almost sporty sharp in a way.
I was talking to Graham Gambold from Suspensions R Us, and Graham does all of Australia's Kia tuning. So he does the steering and the suspension. And this is column mounted electric power steering, which normally isn't as good as the electric power steering you get on the rack. But this, I think, feels sensational. It's on the verge of having the feeling that you get from hydraulic steering.
I think that the steering is getting better, as is CVT gearboxes.
I think all CVT boxes, David, should be in the bin. In the bin with them all.
Safety. This has a considerable amount of safety. Of course, we have the ABS and electronic stability control. It also has emergency braking, automatic emergency braking, which is good.
And rear cross traffic alert?
Rear cross for the top two models.
Right.
Yes, that would be it. Lane keep assist for all of them, but lane following assist just for the top of the range model. Which
I've got switched on at the moment, and I'm struggling to understand the difference between lane keep assist and lane follow assist.
I think we better get a formal definition of that.
Unless they mean that, we're not allowed to, and I'm certainly not going to do it on my Anfilum, but perhaps you can take your hands off the steering wheel. Maybe that's what it means.
Blind spots detection on the top two models, as is the automatic dimming of the rear vision mirror. But parking sensors at the back is standard, but only at the front on the top two
I just
models.
Don't get it. How much can it cost to stick a couple of sensors on a front bumper bar, for God's sake?
Sophistication, but not necessarily the cheapest on the market. $25,000 drive away for the base model, $42,000 for the top of the line.
It's got a lot of stuff in it though, Dave. Like this top one, the sound system is Bose on this top model, and it's got Apple Carplay and Android Auto. The sound is great. The very wide screen is just brilliant. I think the looks of the inside matched the looks of the outside, but this top model is streets ahead for the actual drive. It's absolutely, and you'll see it when you have a drive. You haven't driven it yet. You'll see it when you have a drive.
It even has a bigger information display between the two dials. Two dials are fairly traditional, round and clear number, which I like, but the numbers in between, the information is in big fonts.
And it's colour as well.
So overall, you're impressed so far?
I am extremely impressed. Now we've got on the graphic at the moment, I've just gotten rid of my digital speedo, and I've got instead what the all-wheel drive is doing. So at the moment, we are just being powered by the front wheels, and now I've kicked it in the guts. It was sending some of the power to the back wheels. So let's move on to the seats. The seats in the top model have 10-way adjustment for the driver and 8-way for the passenger.
Which I like.
I like too. But more importantly, they've got heating and cooling built into them. What do you think about that?
I love the cooling.
Do you?
Yeah.
It always makes me feel like I've wet myself.
No, I think heated makes it feel to me like something's gone wrong.
Oh, heating feels like a warm hug. If there was one little problem, and we've discovered this on the way up, we were talking about how much sound deadening there is in the car, and I thought that there was a little more sound in the cabin than I thought there should be. It's the only fault I can pick with it. I like the soft feel of the fixtures and fittings. Everything feels like quality. I like the big wide vents. I particularly like the fast charging that you get in this top model, wireless charging. So if you've got a new iPhone, for example, you can put it in there and it'll charge. What's your verdict?
Oh, look, as a sophisticated SUV, I think it is hitting its mark. And I think this is not a car you feel like it's the one you can afford to buy. It's the one that you'd like to buy. But it makes it upmarket. And I think this is aiming upmarket.
Well, this does feel upmarket.
It has 7-year warranty, 7-year capped price servicing, and 7-year
roadside assist. And if anything goes wrong, and chances are it won't, but if anything does, a little man will come in a white jacket. You could go to places like we're going to now, to beautiful Noosa, throw all your stuff in the boot. The seats go down 60/40. On the subject of the seats, I don't think any of the covering is actually real leather.
No,
I think
it's made for vegans.
Whoever set this up has a touch of Virgo about them, and that's how Kia's set up Seltos. Graham Gamble's done an excellent job. Read what we think about it in the full comments, and don't forget, hit there to subscribe.